Americans and AMP Live. How you doing today? It's in the group, or this is a private training inside the group only. I believe it might be both groups, a meetup group and the AMP Live creative real estate group. So if you're out there in this group, it's a small group, but hey, there's some people that are rocking, some people that are not, some people that got out of the business, so they're not interested in the business. All kinds of good stuff. But we're only doing this today, or doing this inside of this group. I'm Eric. I'm going to be your host today, obviously. One of the creators of AHA, Americans Helping Americans, and AMP Live. I was creating a little bit of music there, cranking up some tunes. Hopefully you're doing good. It's Sunday, so taking the time to go ahead and touch bases with you and others. This will be canned inside the group. It won't be floating around anywhere. So basically what we're going to do is a little bit of training, okay, on some pre-foreclosures. If you're not working them, you should. Also going to share a little bit about Subto buyouts and how you can find a house, even if you're wanting to buy a house for yourself. Maybe it's a small house, maybe it's something with some land somewhere in Texas or Florida, Montana. Had several conversations, had some good training calls yesterday with some good people coming aboard, AHA and AMP Live, the American Mentee Program, as we're always hiring and recruiting and bringing people aboard and onboarding them and doing this business across the United States of America. So we're not selling education, right? It's a mentoring program. That's be changing soon, okay? We're only taking on 5. Right now for May, we're only taking on 5 mentees. That's it for the rest of the year, or I shouldn't say for the rest of the year, just 5 for May. After that, we're not taking on mentees anymore. It's going to be, because it's a 7-day it's a not 7-day program, it's one-on-one mentoring for 6 months, partner up and do deals for 12 months. Some people know what that is, some people don't. Some people, maybe some of you guys have been on the fence, have money, don't have money, should I get started? I'm going to try to do this on my own, all that good stuff, right? I get it. But after that, after May, we're only taking on 2 a year. And we're pivoting and moving and changing some stuff around and adjusting and adapting to the new real estate cycle, because it's here, okay? And we're going to go through that cycle. Foreclosures, short sales, REOs, bottom out. If you have tons of cash, hopefully you do at that time, that's the time to buy. And get those Lambos cheap, get those Harley Davidsons cheap, the boats cheap, businesses cheap, property cheap, right? If you got the cash, and then ride that sumbitch out. Hindsight's 2020, right? We're all gonna live and learn. We had some awesome guy on yesterday. Do thank him for being on and sharing his decades of wisdom. Couple of newbies, from Texas, and had a young mentee came aboard. He came aboard and it's already done some deals and has a property and owns a property and stuff like that. So we wanted to just kind of talk a little bit about, make it kind of like questions. And it was about foreclosures. Had some good training yesterday on some pro tips on how to find those foreclosures, right? Some other avenues that people are not taking, and that's not the the city lists and what I'm looking for, like utilities and all that good stuff when people don't pay them. And that's fine. People go after that if you can get a hold of it. You just don't know what the situation is going to be. We like to stack that situation, make sure there's more than one pain point going on. And foreclosure is the easiest. At least for me, it was the easiest for me when I got started, but it's probably the hardest for others. And not knowing what you don't know, you just go in and make it happen, right? And do it. Of course, I did a lot of training and set up my systems and set up my business and tested, and then move forward in my business. So I had something to work with, right? Other people just get in it. I get it. There's courses and YouTube University, to TikTok, all those ones, and people trying to figure stuff out because there's like a bunch of pieces to the puzzle. And then you just trying to figure out how to build the puzzle. I always say, hey, would you like to work with somebody who already has the puzzle, already built out the puzzle that you want to work on? Yeah, it's a little less boring, but the outcome's different, right? Learn how to do it and learn how to put these puzzles together. There's only one puzzle. There's different, there's different type of puzzles, right? Could be the wholesaling, could be real estate, could be listings, buyer agent. Real estate's real estate. It's an umbrella, and then there's all kinds of other stuff. And you got the real estate box, and we live outside that box, as I always say. If you've had conversations with me and you're in this group, awesome. What's holding you back? Should be getting into it. And there you go. There's some stuff happening right there. Some leads coming in, responding. The bottom line is that's when you hear that ding, ding, right? That's just somebody who's responding back to some campaigns that are running, which will help you set up, help you get going. But I'm going to talk about pre-foreclosures. I'm going to talk about Subto buyouts, Wouldn't it be awesome to be able to buy a house, right? That's 2 or 3, 4% interest rate, because you can't even get that interest rate right now. And you're probably going, well, how the hell is that going to happen? How is that even possible? Can I buy down the rate? Sure, it costs you tens of thousands of dollars probably to maybe buy down the rate. I don't even know if you can get it to 2 or 3, 4%, right? Now the banks can get those rates. You can't. You cannot, which kind of sucks, right? They get the rate and then they loan you the money with money that's in their bank that came from you. It's an amazing thing, right? The banking system is the banking system. Now, the best way is to create your own bank, right? Get some private investors, do your deals, but you have to have some credibility first, right? You have to build your business. You got to set up your business, set up your branding, set up your marketing, and then hopefully your process works in getting those deals, talking to the sellers, locking up the properties, doing your due diligence on the property, underwriting it, and then, getting it into escrow, and you're either going to assign it or you're going to fix it and flip it. Hard money, traditional, private money. And then, once you acquire the property, or what are you going to do with it, right? Is it buy and hold, Airbnb? Are you going to keep it as a rental? Are you going to fix it and flip it and get in, get out? Or just going to clean it up a little bit and then list it and sell it, right? There's all kinds of options. But for pre-foreclosures, they're out there. And we had that conversation yesterday, okay? So 4 o'clock, probably going to do another training. It'll be in the group, I believe, at 2 o'clock. So we're doing so many of these things. We're just kind of getting a little ahead of ourselves here and there. But a lot of times we'll just shoot it off the cuff, right? Because 9 times out of 10, these are not edited, and they're just going to be, hey, they're live and uncut. It's very, very rare that they do get edited or revamped. They're always going to be monetized over all the different platforms, unless it goes into this group. Like right now, if this is rolling in the group, then it's just private for the group until we pull it off and then put it on our other platform, which is our website and things of that nature. But right now, pre-foreclosures, okay? Go after them. What are they? It's easy peasy. It's like, I don't know if you're going hunting, right? If you're going hunting and it's kind of like, monkeys in a barrel, there's a bunch of them in there. If you shoot at the barrel, you're going to hit one sooner or later. So you're going after one targeted type or demographic type of lead, which is a pre-foreclosure. Is the jam a little bit different? Sure. You just have to learn how to talk with the sellers. They're a little bit more emotional. They're in denial. So you have to figure out how to work with those types of leads and then get in there. But can you imagine buying a property that's at 2, 3, 4%, right? And then with equity, and you're going to get it at a discount, and you're going to help your fellow American at the end of the day, right? Or just fellow, seller, guy, gal, family, who knows, whatever person lives in that property, right? They're looking for solutions. Now, 9 times out of 10, they're going to go to their mom, their uncle, their grandma. They're going to try to borrow some money, and sometimes it works out because I've talked to them before, and sometimes they don't. Sometimes they wait too late. Sometimes they wait to the end. There's divorce properties out there. There's probates, and families inherit properties, and they're like, oh my God, what do I do with this? Some want to keep it, fix it, and flip it, but then others, usually the ones that are in charge of the estate are the most responsible ones. They just want to sell it, unload, and give everybody their money. But sometimes some of the heirs want their money now, or no, I should get more, or no, why don't we fix it and then hold on to it and rent it and split up the cash flow? Some need the money and others don't. So that creates riffraff. And the best thing to do, 9 times out of 10, it's kind of hard to get those terms rolling because you got too many people in the pot, but it can be done. You can buy it at least subject to existing financing. You can put a memorandum of option, memorandum of sale, memorandum of agreement, any of those things, which is like Subto. You can put subject to existing financing, subject to the taxes, subject to whatever the hell you want it to be. Just put it in the clause and write up the clause, put it in the addendum, and then write up those clauses. Okay. So it's been a long week. It's been a long, long week, but it's all good. We're here Sunday. I was going to do the pretty much Sunday sermon and just, hey, talk about real estate. I did that kind of yesterday, just kind of in a couple of days before, and I was just based on emotion. And that is, hey, get it. Stuff's happening out there. Bottom line, deals are out there. If you wanted to change your life, then you need to figure out what those things are going to be. Is real estate for you? It may not be for you, okay? But it may be for you. You may get obsessed with it. You may love it. I guarantee anybody who gets into it, this never leaves them, right? And the way we train and mentor is all muscle memory based on downloading into your brain and then recalling it over a period of times until you get something that clicks in your brain. You get your aha moments, and there's a process to it. Okay, so what's happening is we're going after 5 mentees, and we're gonna it's a selection process. And if you come aboard, we're gonna work with you until you get a deal. 6 months one-on-one mentoring, 12 months we're gonna split deals and work deals together. Okay, we're gonna help you get your deal. If you after 6 months you still don't have a deal, we're gonna continue to work with you. Okay, that's a new policy that we brought to the table because it seems to be it will probably help you, but there's some requirements that you have to accomplish before that happens, and we can get into that. Just click the link down below, survey. You're part of this group, so you don't have to worry about joining the group. So the training will be in here when we do these trainings. So there was a website. If you missed the video, go and check out the replay. We'll be replaying these couple of the one from yesterday was a little bit of a long one. It's about an hour and 10 minutes, maybe an hour and a half. But there was some awesome information that rolled through it in regards to some land banking, some land, some options, simple fee, taking title simple fee or fee simple, sorry. And then I believe it was doing like 50 years leases. Then we're talking about and I brought some information to the table in regards to pre-foreclosures, where you can actually put up some information and look for those NOTs, notice of trustee sales. And it'll show, hey, this one got sold to a third party. I'm not gonna lie, it's out in Moreno Valley. 2 of them got sold in Moreno Valley for $150,000, $180,000. These are $500,000-$600,000 properties. The third one sold for $480,000, which is, I believe, a $500,000, $700,000 property. So they're selling pretty cheap at the auction if you can get them at the auction. We like to get them before they go to the auction. The goal is to catch them before they go to the auction. And sometimes you might pay more. I'm not gonna lie. But if you're grabbing that property and you're leveraging the property, then it's the return on investments is infinite. Simply because you're not putting a bunch of cash there. You're using OPM, other people's money, and then you're going ahead and leveraging the property. You're gonna go through the motions of reinstating the loan, paying the seller to move on, fix it, put it back on the market, flip it, or hold on to it, or whatever it may be. The bottom line is up to you, but it's happening. Prime example: there was a property that was $399,000. We offered $450,000. We were happy with that. Still would have made money on it because we're going to leverage the property, take it over. The interest rate was low. The payment was low. If it goes bad, we can just cash flow the darn property after it's fixed up, and we'd be fine. Or turn around and flip it, and we still make a decent profit. But it ended up going back to the bank, and it sold for like $418,000, right? A little less than what we wanted it for. But the bank was, hey, they're going to do what they're going to do. They didn't. We were sent in letters and things of that nature to try to slow it down and offer to buy it and this and that. But they wanted to get it off the books, I guess. And it ran through the auction, which we weren't going to go because if you go to the auction, you got to have cash, cashier's check, bank letter, note, whatever. Good old boys are the ones that rock and roll there. If they like you, they'll let you buy. If they don't, they'll squeeze you the hell out because they got tons and tons of money you cannot compete with. But you can go after those properties before they go to the auction. And same thing in Florida, Texas, Montana, Ohio, everywhere up and down the United States of America. The bottom line is you got lis pendens. That's what's called a judicial foreclosure. And then you have NODs, NOTs, notice the default, notice trustees. Those are non-judicial. That's California. And Florida has a little bit of both. Texas has, some of these states have a little bit of both, depending on their districts and counties, right? So you just got to make sure. But we're going to have fun in Texas, Houston, and then I believe we're moving up towards the Waco and everything in between there. Kayleen, and then there's Austin and stuff. Probably not going to mess with Austin too much unless some juicy stuff comes down the wire. But we'll look at all of Texas, Ohio, looking at all of Ohio as well, or I shouldn't say all of Ohio, certain sections of Ohio like Columbus, Dayton, Beaver Creek, Xena, places like that, a little bit further down. And then Missouri, certain parts of Missouri, and of course California. Even looking at some Vegas stuff, right? Those are kind of little hot spots. Tennessee's pretty hot. Vegas is Florida's always hot. Stuff's going, a lot of competition. But don't worry about that. hyper focus, put your head down and grind and go after deals in your backyard, become the expert in your backyard. Yes, network, talk to people and talk to the ones that are rocking and rolling, buying properties, which we'll help you with. But today, pre-foreclosures, okay? I was going to do some screen sharing and all that other good stuff, but I'm probably going to do it around 4 o'clock instead. I'm going to get a little more fired up, get some coffee in me. It's been, like I said, it's been a long week. It's Sunday. I'm not gonna lie. I'd rather do some other things, right, and hang out with the family and watch some movies or do something like that. But the bottom line is, deals are flowing, and if I signed up for it, and you signed up for it as a mentee when you come aboard, or others have come aboard, right? You know who you are. At the end of the day, we're gonna show up. I'm gonna show up. We're gonna train. We're gonna rock. We're gonna do what we need to do. And if you don't, 90% of it is showing up. So that's the purpose, okay? So hopefully you get some value from this video, but I am looking for 5. So if you've ever wanted to get on board and do some rock and rollness, right, we'll talk. Look, I got some stuff that we're willing to work with you on, okay? We got some people that are coming down the wire. There's an AHA protege program. We'll talk to you a little bit about that. There's an Amp Live real estate program, the Amp Live American Mentee program. Only looking for 5 people, 5 select people that we're going to work with exclusively, and we're going to do some deals, and we're going to rock, okay? But at the end of the day, comes up, it's about you, right? It's about whether you're going to move forward in this business or not. Okay, so pre-foreclosures, let me see. I could possibly show, I think I might have it up, and I'll share it with you guys, and you guys can take a look or just record the video and the links. I'm not sure if I'm going to put a link in here or not, but I'll share the screen. If I can find it. How's it at? Here's one. Oh, here it is. Okay. Nationwide. All right, cool. I'll go ahead and share this with you guys. If you see this inside the group, like I said, in the group, I wouldn't share this on any like on the open platforms, but this is just going to stay inside the group. This video will be here for a week, 2, 3 weeks, maybe a month at the longest. After that, they're going to get removed. And so absorb them. Take a look. Okay, so this right here, you can go. Let me go to the actual website. So you can go here, go check it out. It's Nationwide Posting Publications. Okay, we just pretty much pulled up. This is what, the 16th, 18th. Let me pull a new date, see what comes up. It might maybe log in, so I don't feel like doing that. I'm not going to do that. All right, so we pulled this up yesterday, and hopefully, if you watch this video, you can take a look here. You can see these canceled, sales scheduled, rescheduled, sales scheduled. Okay, postponed by bankruptcy. Beneficiary. Bankruptcy means they went and filed a bankruptcy to slow the thing down, or they're either going to actually do a foreclosure, bankruptcy, or it's just a stall tactic, okay? Because the bank will be able to do anything when you file bankruptcy within that duration. And then the judge is going to set a time to go ahead and, he's going to set a time to go to court. If you show up, then you got to be prepared, with all your creditors and have an attorney and all that good stuff, right? Otherwise, it'll get dropped, okay? And won't go through the full process. And then the seller's property will be back into foreclosure sooner or later. So beneficiary interest means that's the bank, the beneficiary, or whoever did the actual loan, not underwrote it, but actually has the loan in place, because there's going to be servicers like Aquin and a bunch of other ones. They just service the loan, but it could be Wells Fargo, it could be Bank of America, it could be any type of lending company that actually bought the loan, maybe on the secondary market, because that's happening a lot right now too. 80-20 stuff. If you don't remember from the last cycle, they're 80-20 loans. If you don't understand what that is, don't worry about it. Maybe look it up. 80-20 loans. A lot of the second loans that disappeared and people didn't make payments on, figured, they went out of business. No, they're coming back. I just saw one today on an 80-20 loan. It's somewhere in Riverside. And it was a $65,000 loan, $200,000 first loan, $65,000 on the second. They're taking care of their first, but it also shows that they've been going through foreclosure, rescission. They're making the payments. So they're like, going back and forth, probably the type of job that the person has. They're going into foreclosure, then they go to notice of trustee sale. They're right before the auction, they reinstate, keep their house. But now, 10, 15 years later, it's usually, I believe it's like from 2007 and 8, a lot of those loans, right? So you got, a little under 15 years, 13, 14, 15 years, they're coming back and saying, hey, you haven't made a payment. So you need to make a payment now. And now you owe us, instead of $65, you owe us $186,000. And they're threatening to foreclose because they already foreclosed. They already filed a notice of default. And this is happening throughout the United States. So it's not just here in California, right? It's going to happen in Texas, everywhere, okay? Up and down from Florida to here in the West Coast. So they're going to, once they file that notice of default, seller's credit's fucked up. It's just, there's no way around it, right? They're going to have to repair that stuff. Nothing to do about it. So they're going to have issues. Even if they repaired, they might have had issues, and some of them have done loan mods in between there, got their credit all fixed up, nothing, because the loan just never, surfaced. All of a sudden it resurfaces. It's a document. You can't, what's the word I'm looking for? There's not a statute of limitations on those loans. Some people think there is, or they try to say that, or they try to get a loan mod on the second. But because of regulatory issues, the second's not going to do that, because they being predatory, wouldn't be in compliance. They'd be considered predatory loans. So they're not going to do that. You have to pay off the son of a bitch is what needs to happen, right? So they'll have to try to figure out how to get a loan and pay off the first and the second, or pay off the first and the second. So they only have one loan and a new loan. So that second goes away. So that's happening. That's just one mechanism. That's a pro tip for you that we're seeing. Stuff like that's happening. And of course, the people are in denial. Hey, I'm going to fix it. I'm going to do this. They figure they got some time. It's just a matter of time before shit hits the fan, unless they are able to get a loan. But they got to do it quickly, right? Because if they don't, as soon as that stuff gets getting filed through the credit bureaus, it's going to come up, and their credit's going to go to shit. It's going to be a hard time trying to get a loan. They won't be able to get a loan. And they occupy the property, this and that, all kinds of stuff. So there's a lot of different issues, but that's happening. Saw a couple of them that came down the wire. There are pre-foreclosures here in California, in the Riverside area, where that's the situation. So they're like, no, I'm good. Well, at the end of the day, right, they're going to foreclose, or they can go to the first and try to buy the first, right? And then they got the second. So, being in second position kind of sucks, because if the first goes out, then the second gets wiped out, unless it's IRS or some other type of liens. Just a pro tip there. But that's kind of what's happening, And so when you look at some of these NODs here, postponed, rescheduled, postponed to the 18th, right? What is that? 18th is next week sometime. So these people should be motivated, and they may not be motivated because they probably think, oh, well, the bank's just going to postpone. The bank says they don't want the house, and blah, blah, blah. They're trying to work with me, or there's loan mods they're trying to do, and things of that nature. Loan mods are 50-50 roll of the dice. The bank's not required by law to give anybody a loan mod, but they are required by law to give you a shot, to listen to you, to take a look, send the paperwork. So you send this big old file, right? That's like probably just like when just like when somebody purchased a property, tons of documents. They want to know their W-2s, their taxes, what's the situation, hardship letter. They want to know what all their bills are and credit cards and all that good stuff. And they want all that information. And then they'll decide on whether you can afford this house or not. If you can afford it, then they may start working in the capacity of a loan mod, where they're going to kind of redo the loan to a degree. There's going to be a loan modification. So it's not actually, it's just like a Band-Aid, and they'll set the terms, whatever the terms may be at this point in time. Now, there's people that do that, and then there's people who do short sales. There's some short sales are floating around out there. It's out there. But right now, like something like this one might be a short sale, simply because the property, the one I was talking about, the 80-20 loan, $207,000 on the first, $65,000 on the second. They want $186,000. They're up to $407,000, and the property's not worth that. It's the best route for that person is a short sale, right? And try to get a short sale on the property. But yeah, they're going to lose their property, or they're going to get foreclosed on. They're going to lose their property anyways, or they have to figure that out. Their credit's already going to shit because they recorded the NOD, and then it is what it is. So it puts them in a bad situation. But unfortunately, that's what's happening. It's a trend. It's happening more and more. Pre-foreclosures are happening more and more. Pro tip is that, hey, they're not as low as they used to be. If you can catch them at 5, 10, 15, 20,000 bucks behind on back payments, or 26, you're doing pretty good. But a lot of them are coming in at 30 and 40 and 50 and 60, and sometimes higher than that, depending on the price of the property and the location. So, but you're going to come up with money anyways, hard money, right? Why not just leave a nice juicy loan at 2, 3, 4% interest rate, right? Borrow the money, private dollars, reinstate, pay the seller some money, fix it up, put it back on the market, resell it, or turn it into a rental. Do the ADU thing that you can do in California, or even Riverside's notorious for that stuff, right? And go from there. If it's in the Midwest somewhere, you can do the same thing. This can be done in any state, and doesn't matter where it's located, So, or just lock it up and wholesale to some bitch and move on. Put some money in your pocket. If you're getting any of those types of deals, bring them down. Bring them to the group. Let's talk. Let's chat. Let's see what we can do. If you have any questions, post some stuff in the group. Ask some questions. If you want to keep it private, hit the PM section, right? And say, hey, can you help me with this and this and that? And we'll do our best to help you out, okay? We can't do, within reason at the end of the day. But bring it on down the wire. If you want to be part of some of these conversations, you got some questions we're usually at what I've been doing. But this week, really not a lot, just this week. That's how we had that conversation with some awesome people yesterday. I'll post the link down below. And if you're willing to share your mug, if not, that's okay. You can still come on and fire up your mic, and we can go back and forth and talk and chat and build some relationships together at the end of the day and do some business, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up because I believe it's like getting close to 30 minutes. I believe. Let me check. Yeah, good to go. Okay, but check this out. Go there and check it out. Punch in that. If you got a TS number, okay, then you can punch that up if you want to find a property that is in foreclosure. And on another training, I'll show you how to get that TS number and how you can punch it in and see what properties, because you see here it says TS number. And if you click this number here, it's going to come up and it's going to share some information on the property. Sold outside party for $138,000. The APN number, it'll give you the sale date, sale time, county, the address, sale location, and the final bid, okay? When you punch in those TS numbers. And you can get those TS numbers if you have access to a title company. PropStream will give you access, but you got to pay like $4 or $5 or something like that for that recorded document. And if you have the recorded document, which is a notice of default, you can go in there and it'll tell you the details of how much they owe, where the sale is going to be. Is there a link? Is there a website? Is there a telephone number? Right? And then there'll be a TS number. And if there's an 800 number, you can call the company, the company that's going to be doing the foreclosure. Give them that TS number, and they'll let you know if the sale's been postponed, is it still going, and they'll give you some details on it. And that's it. And you don't have to be the seller to get that information, okay? So we'll get into a little bit later, probably on another call. We're going to talk about how to get if you get a lead, where to find them, right? Once you talk to them, what do you need to do? Well, we're going to talk a little bit about that, the art of the deal in regards to qualifying the seller and talking to the seller and getting some intel from the seller in regards to the foreclosure. And then if we can get that information, I'm going to show you how to do it, how to do the due diligence. And once you do the due diligence, how to call them back, set an appointment, make sure that everything is correct from what they told you in the due diligence that you pulled. We'll pull a full title profile, or you can go to PropStream or one of the other social softwares, right? Put in the address, and you'll get some of that information. But then set the appointment, okay? And then we're going to go ahead and take a look at some of that stuff, and we'll show you how to do it, how to pull the title, or how to find it on PropStream or Privy or one of those other platforms, and so you know what to look for, right? What's the default amount? How much do they owe? Is it a first? Is it a second? Who's the lender? What's the interest rate, right? What's the payment? All that good stuff is awesome information that you should know as an investor, so you can figure out how to put a solution together, right? And how to put an offer together for that seller. And then setting that appointment and talking with the seller, either writing up the offer contingent upon inspection or going to the house, right? And negotiating a deal. So we're going to get into all that and on another call, maybe Monday. Tomorrow's Monday. It'll be Mindset Money Monday. We'll be talking about some motivation, books to read, how to stay fired up and motivated, morning rituals, things of that nature. Tuesday, we usually jump back on here and do some training because it's a sales and field day. and hopefully we'll be talking about some deals. So if on Tuesday, if you want to come back to this group and you get deals, drop them in. Let's work them. Let's see what we can do. Let's see if we can put some money in your pocket. Okay. Without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up here. Let me go back to this. Throw the mug back on there. And 29 minutes, perfect. 30 minutes into it. So that's what they'll usually be, 15, 30 minutes. Unless we have some people that come in, then we'll go as long as we need to. Okay. But click the link down below. Amp Live survey. Share some information. Let's see if we're a good fit. You're already in the group, so there might be another link that says join the group. Don't have to because you're here. We got the two groups, the meetup group and then this one. And then obviously we're on social media, on all the different platforms, the YouTube and Twitter and all that other good stuff. You can reach out. You can reach out there. Sometimes we post the same stuff. Sometimes it's different. So definitely don't be a stranger. Be active inside the group if you want to learn this business. We got the AHA AMP or the AHA Protege program that just rolled out. Basically, that's a bird dog program. If you're interested in that, click down below. We'll chat. Click the survey. If you're interested in coming aboard, we're only looking for five for May, 5 people for the one-on-one mentoring program. Click the link. Let's see if we're a good fit. If we are, we're going to rock and roll and do some deals together, okay? So without further ado, rock and roll in all that you do. Go out there, rock, make some money. Let's make some money together. And you have an awesome, awesome, beautiful, wonderful Sunday. And tomorrow, Mindset Money Monday. Tuesday, bring some deals to the table. Wednesday wellness, right? Talk about health and all that other good stuff and why mindset, again, all these things tie together. Thursday, another sales and field day, and bring those deals to the table so we can rock them. Friday, highlights, and then we'll go back to Saturday again, field day and a sales day, rocking and rolling with some afternoon training. Hopefully you're doing deals and you're rocking deals. Bring them down the table, bring them down the wire. Let's rock.